Math practice for class 9. Today we are going to study probability. It is a simple topic, so watch the video till the end. You must know there are different approaches for defining probability. First one is the empirical definition, also called the experimental probability. And this approach uses historical data to determine the likelihood of an event occurring. Means from the previous records you try to predict the probability for the future event. Subjective definition, this approach is an individual's measure of belief that an event will occur. Axiomatic definition, in this there are certain axioms which are used to define probability. And the classical or theoretical probability, in this approach it assumes that an experiment has equally likely outcomes and on the basis of that probability is defined. For class 9, today we are going to study the empirical or the experimental definition of probability. Find some terms. A trial is an action which results in one or several outcomes. An event for an experiment is the collection of some outcomes of the experiment. For example, the experiment is of the tossing of a coin. Then, suppose the experiment is done 50 times. In each trial, you can have two outcomes, either head or tail. Now, the empirical or the experimental probability is given by P of E. E is an event. P of E or probability of E is equal to number of trials in which E has happened upon the total number of trials. Now, empirical probability depends on the number of trials undertaken and number of times your desired outcome comes in these trials. For example, the experiment is of rolling a pair die, and if it is performed 60 times and the total number of trials will be 60. The event E can be of getting a 2 on it. You know that when a die is rolled, you can get any number out of 1 to 6. So suppose our required event is of getting a 2 on it, and if it occurs 11 times out of 60, then we can say probability of E, the event of getting 2, is equal to 11 upon 60. Probability of an event always lies between 0 and 1. That means if E is any event, then P of E is 0 is less than or equal to P of E less than or equal to 1. If the probability of an event is 0, it is called an uncertain event. For example, sun rising in the west, that probability will always be 0. And 1 means it is called a certain event. For example, sun rising in the east, always the probability is 1. Also remember the sum of the probabilities is 1. E1, E2, En cover all the possible outcomes of a trial. That means, for example, when a coin is tossed, the possible outcomes are head and tail. So probability of head plus probability of tail, the total should always be equal to 1. Example 1. 1500 families with 2 children were selected randomly and the following data was recorded. Number of girls in a family, 475 families had 2 girls, 814 families had 1 girl and 211 families had 0 girls in their family. Compute the probability of a family chosen at random having 2 girls, 1 girl and no girl. Also check whether the sum of these probabilities is 1. Remember, here we are using the empirical approach. What is the empirical approach? That from the data given, we are predicting the probability. Total number of families are 1500. First case, number of families having 2 girls is 475. So, number of families having 2 girls upon total number of families. So, that is 475 upon 1500 or 19 by 60. Number of families having 1 girl, 814 upon 1500, which is 407 upon 750. Now number of families having 0 girls is 211. So probability is 211 upon 1500. Sum of the probabilities we can see it is equal to 1. Because we know that the total number of possibilities are these 3. Having 0 girls, 1 girl or 2 girls. So the sum of the probability of all the events should be equal to 1 and it is equal to 1. Next example. An organization selected 2400 families at random and surveyed them to determine a relationship between income level and the number of vehicles in a family. Now this is the information given. Vehicles for family are 0, 1, 2 and above 2. 4 cases are given. Income less than 7,000. The data is given between 7,000 to 10,000 and similarly up to 16,000 or more. Suppose a family is chosen at random. Find the probability of the following events. First case, earning between 10,000 and 13,000 and owning exactly 2 vehicles. So from the data we can see between 10,000 and 13,000 and it is 2 vehicles. So what is the amount given? 29. So 29 families out of 2400. So the probability is 29 upon 2400. Similarly, earning 16,000 or more and owning exactly 1 vehicle. So we can see it is 579. So 579 out of 2400. The probability is 579 upon 2400. Similarly, less than 7,000 per month and does not own any vehicle. So 0 vehicles and less than 7,000. So that is 10 upon 2400 or 1 upon 240. Earning between 13,000 and 16,000 and more than 2 vehicles. It is 25. So 25 upon 2400 or 1 upon 96. The last case is owning not more than 1 vehicle. Not more than 1 vehicle means either 0 vehicles or 1 vehicle. So add all the cases for 0 vehicle and 1 vehicle. So for 0 it is 10 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. And for 1 vehicle it is 160 plus 305 plus 535 plus 469 plus 579 upon total number 2400. So that is 1031 upon 1200. Example 3. 3 coins are tossed simultaneously 200 times with the following frequencies of different outcomes. When 3 coins are tossed, you can get either 3 heads, 2 heads, 1 head or 0 heads. So if 3 coins are simultaneously tossed, again compute the probability of 2 heads coming up. So from the given data we have to find the probability of 2 heads. Now from the data, number of times 2 heads come up is 72 and total number of times they were tossed is 200. So the probability is 72 upon 200 or 9 upon 25. As I said, this is a simple chapter. So let us take 2 assignment examples. In the first one, the data is given. From that you have to find the probability that the student obtained less than 20% marks in mathematics. Also find the probability that the student obtained more than 60 or above. Correct? So out of 100, less than 20% means less than 20. So that answer, it is very visible from the data. It is 7 upon total 90. And second case is more than 60. So 60 or above, there are 2 cases. So 15 plus 8, which is 23 upon 90. Second example, the record of a weather station shows that out of past 250 consecutive days, its weather forecasts were correct only 175 times. What is the probability that on a given day it is correct? Given day it is correct means 175 upon 250 or 0.7, and it is not correct, it is 0.3. Also check that only 2 possibilities are there, either correct or not correct. So sum will be always 1. 0.7 plus 0.3 is 1. So in class 9 you just have the empirical approach to probability and we have discussed examples for the same. Do like and share the video and subscribe to Maths.